You are tuned into an episode of Choose the Future today on the Faithful Sinners. This is just a quick little video, catch you up on what I'm working on here. Wind is blowing the opposite direction. I still have a couple of those other trees on the other side of the property that way that I need to get to, but I have these two that I guess you can see. They are really not that problematic, but they are in the way of being able to efficiently use that area. Plus this one here closest to that busted up shed that's going to be torn down. That one is actually dead and it's going to get turned into a gnome home. So that will be a follow-up project. If you look at this tree, what's kind of cool is the base of it has this little hollowed out area, and the way the roots are down below, I think will turn into a pretty cool looking little gnome home. And we've got another little tree over here that we're keeping. It's got kind of a cool little crack in it. One of the things that my son has helped with is part of this area that I'm going to show you, which is actually cleared out now, but wasn't. It was all sucked in and actually filled with a whole pile of metal. One of those things my son uncovered was this old sign that was buried in the ground. So what we did is we utilized a little hole. Oh, that's in it. And that's how we mounted the sign. So that I'm going to keep. I think it's just kind of unique. The tree is live, and getting rid of these other two trees will also help this tree as well be able to straighten up a little bit better at the top. I will be knocking out some of these branches that you see here, but how we've got the tree set up today is you can see a rope line running behind me. That's running to a pole line, and then I've got my cables down there with the come along on the far end. So first thing I'll do is actually notch out the tree, and then I will go and tighten things up, and then I'll cut the back cut. And as I said, the wind is blowing this way. It's the other reason I'm not working on the other trees. Plus this will allow me to move my workshop trailer, which is right next to that big 130-foot tree that needs to come down next after these two. And that will actually fit nicely in here, and move it a little bit farther back into the yard. So I think that's a benefit anyways, because I have to move it in order to cut that other tree. So I think God's telling me today, you know what, let's knock out these things in the back first, get your trailer safe, and then go ahead and deal with that big guy. So I will show you actually also kind of the results so far of what has been happening with these other trees that we worked on the other day. So at this point, pretty much everything's been cut up, and now I'm in the process of stacking these. And I'll tell you, there's a trick to it. I don't lift these things as little as possible. First off, physically gets extremely challenging, and I'm not going to risk getting a hernia again. And then in addition to that, it's just a simple measure of leverage and tools that are sitting here on the ground to allow you to move those things up in heights. I actually had some logs that were, at my other property, about 2 feet in diameter, maybe a little bit bigger than that, and then cut at about 18 inches wide. Those I actually got stacked 4 high. That's how I got my hernia. Is I went and lifted those things literally up and over my head. Still have no idea how I did that, because when I go back and look at the weight, it is unbelievable. I did that, and I did that with 16 of them. So I guess it was mind over matter that day. I was focused on getting it done, and I had nobody to help me, so I just said, knuckle down and get it done. Anyways, I will capture some footage once this is finished, and I did already take out the center portion of this tree, which will allow again for this tree next to it to grow a little bit straighter, and also just gets rid of one that was kind of hanging at a bad angle. Hope you enjoy, and I look forward to showing you the end results. Well, tree is down. Concern that occurred is as it was coming down, it started to lean towards that back deck, and that wasn't good. Fortunately, I have a secondary line here that's tied to the side tree with an extra pulley and rope. And why it's down the hill is because as I was using the come along, I looked up at the tree and noticed that it was getting a little bit of a lean to it, and it was far enough I couldn't cut it again without not being safe. So I came over and grabbed this rope and literally pulled my weight into it, and as the tree was coming down, I ran down the hill and landed on my butt. But tree came down good, and nobody got hurt. Nothing got broken, including me, which is always a good thing. Again, one of the series I'm going to want to make sure you guys check out is one that I'm doing around my disabilities and challenges that I deal with from the Persian Gulf that followed from an unknown exposure. Still really don't know what it was, but know what it's doing, and it affects my nerves quite a bit, especially in my hands and my arms, my neck and back, and down into my legs. So feet are on and off, but makes things like this extremely challenging. Makes being very diligent about doing specific exercises for the issues before doing stuff like this, and then definitely after, because that's how I'm able to maintain. But I also have, special gloves that I use and things that I'll share as well, that helps with reducing vibration and all of that kind of stuff. So anyways, one down, and then next one is this big guy. Not too bad, but still pretty decent. Oh, my hand is shaking. That's a nerve issue. Oh, anyway, all in a day's work. Got all these stacked up. This whole area cleared. Those couple of rows of stacks. So you can see behind me, those were that's the area where the trees had gone down. That's all cleared out. And then at this other area with the other tree, and all that's really left of this one is the branches. The logs are all right here. Neighbor's gonna come by who uses it for firewood, so he can use that because it's good white oak. But in a day's work, and actually in a matter of 4 days total work, done quite a bit of work here. But like I said, all to help a buddy who's also helping me. And that's what I hope every one of you guys are doing as well, is helping out somebody out there. Because if you need the help now, you may need the help later. And it's always know that there's people you can reach out to. Hope you enjoyed. And please make sure you go ahead and share, follow and like us, and click that follow button on your viewer right now. And I hope to see you in the next episode. And like I said, we want to share so we can all sin better together and all live our best lives. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Faithful Sinners with Timothy E. Baker. And don't forget to visit us at thefaithfulsinners.com.